How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Box to Box. We're here, freezing outside the Emirates. We've got a match this Saturday, midday kickoff. And I'd usually introduce this game as the two worst owners in the league, but a lot's changed since the last time we played each other. I'm here with Matty from Magpie Channel.
Nice to see you, bro.
You say, Matty, all good?
I'm good, man, I'm good. Well, hopefully I will be on Saturday. We're seeing a bit of progress on the how, but we've got a long way to go. But like you said, main thing is, the owner's gone, the new owners are in. Hopefully we have a bright future. Yeah,
to be honest, there's a lot to talk about today in terms of owners, our match coming and your future with these new owners. I want to start with the new owners because I think at Arsenal we've had a torrid time with Kroenke, and I look at you guys as having a worse time than us, and the only club with a worse owner than Stan Kroenke and Mike Ashley. But you're finally rid of him. Now, you know, Newcastle fans boast the richest club in the world. A lot of controversy behind it, but how do you feel about it? You know, surely for Newcastle fans, there's finally a light at the end of that tunnel you've been walking through for however many years with Mike Ashley.
Mate, the tunnel's been closed off. The tunnel was crashed, closed, barred off for years under Mike Ashley. Do you mean we were stuck in that tunnel, stuck in the dark? 15 years, no money spent, no hope. Didn't want to compete in the league, wanted to finish 17th every year, wasn't interested in FA Cups or anything. He just wanted us to use it as an advertising for Sports Direct, that's all it was.
Cow.
Yeah, man, so now we've got the new owners. It feels mad when you say and everyone says the richest club in the world, Newcastle. I can't believe it. Still doesn't feel real. I don't think it will feel real until we start spending that money and can move up the league because of the mess we're in at the minute. But it's unreal to finally get that. You mentioned the controversy and stuff. Like Newcastle fans, we just want to say our club did well, like every fan like you do, like anyone would. This money, this will hopefully bring success and see us compete. We don't even want to be the next Man City, you know what I mean? We're just happy to be relevant again, just to fight for European places, maybe fight for cups, things like that. So we didn't choose Mike Ashley, we didn't choose the Saudis, we just want to choose success.
Yeah, you just choose your club and follow and believe. That's what it's about. Funnily enough, I've read reports that Mike Ashley actually left you guys in a position where if all goes well this season and you avoid relegation and whatnot, you're in a position where you can start spending money with FFP laws, 2-year turnarounds, and the fact that you just said he doesn't spend much money anyway. So, in a sense, terrible owner, but he's probably left you at a good place.
Terrible owner, brilliant businessman, innit? Really, do you know what I mean? Like £200 million we can spend if we want to in the first couple of transfer windows because of being under FFP. Mike Ashley was that skint for us, didn't spend any money.
Lend us a fiver, mate. Fucking hell.
Mate, we'll lend you whatever we want, but we need to get it back. We can try and go forward with it, but Mike Ashley, the one thing he did was being tight. It's benefited us now. Yeah. It helped us up now, so we can try and sign players. Yeah, straight away. And
on the flip side, I mentioned a good place. On the flip side, fans might argue that you're in relegation, you haven't won a game so far this season. Let's talk about this season so far and the fact you haven't won a game, knocked out of the League Cup to Burnley, I believe, at home as well.
Counties, aye.
Is this season a write-off? Is the bare minimum you want is to stay in the league?
I would snap your hand off now for 17th, just so we can secure Premier League football, so we're there, and then next summer, the rebuild can happen. The new Newcastle can happen next summer, where we get players through the door, because the January window is going to be hard to sign players anyway, isn't it? Especially if we're in a relegation mess, it's going to be even harder. But normally with clubs and stuff, it's difficult to sign the best players in January. The summer's where it happens, the summer's where your pre-season is, embed everyone. So we need to make sure we stay in the league, because it's no good being the richest club in the world, but being in the championship, innit? Like, we'll probably come straight back up, but that means that it's 2 rebuild jobs. You'd have to get a squad to get up, and you'd have to get a squad to stay up, and a squad to then compete for top 4 and stuff. So it just makes the process a lot longer and a lot harder. So for this season, I just want to stay up. Just want to stay up. FA Cup run would be unreal, lovely. Something we haven't had in years. But the priority is definitely Premier League survival. And this season so far, we are the only team not to win a league game.
Norwich last couple.
And not just in the Premier League, the whole English tiers. 92 teams, Newcastle are the only one without a win. So let's hope that starts this weekend, mate.
Let's hope not. We need the 3 points after what we went through at Anfield the other day. So please, let it go for another weekend and start next week.
We need it more than you, bro. We need it more than you.
Talking about January, I've seen some names touted, Dembele, I've seen Coutinho. The names that in Europe, might find themselves on the fringes of the squad or at clubs that need, some financial gain. Do you think you'll do business in January to secure, your space in the league?
I think we'll definitely do business in January. Managerial's already said that's key. Eddie Howe said he wants 5 new players. the defence is where we're at. It's nice being linked with all these flashy forward players like Dembele and Coutinho, and I think we might make a marquee signing like that.
Yeah.
I could see maybe Coutinho being our Rubinho when Man City splashed the cash on him. That kind of makes sense. Sell some shirts, bring some attention, create a statement.
Yeah.
But for me, it's the defence. Well, our defence is so woeful. We haven't signed a defender in nearly 4 years. It's the same defence that was in the Championship.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? These centre-backs are aging, like Kieran Clark and that, man. Kieran Clark, you know. People like him, the players that aren't good enough. So we need defenders, centre-backs, right-back, probably midfielder and a striker. So there's plenty of work to be done.
And looking at the league table, looking at the goals scored, you've actually scored more goals than us this season, but defensively is where you've let yourselves down. I think 27 goals conceded to our 17, whereas you scored 15 and we've scored 13. So there's a little difference there, but you can see why you want to focus more so on the defence.
Yeah, because like you said, if we've scored more goals than you, that doesn't. When you look at the league table and stuff, it wouldn't really make sense. It shows how bad our defence is. I mean, this game on the weekend could be a madness, really.
Yeah.
We've seen Howe's first game against Brentford. That was like Lakers versus Heat. It was end-to-end, it was non-stop, it was 3-3. It could have been about 7-5. That game was nuts, absolutely crazy, man. So we're exciting going forward. St. Maximin, Wilson, Joe Linton's now looking decent, finally. Yeah. So there's plenty of threat going forward, but we're just not good enough at the back. We concede too many goals. A big bonus is Martin Dubravka's back in goal this weekend. Yeah. He's our number one. Carl Dollar isn't good enough. He's championship quality keeper. Yeah. It was his errors that cost us really against Brentford. So we need to shore it up at the back. But honestly, this game could be a mad scoreline on the weekend. But it's draw Castle United, mate. That's who you're playing this weekend.
Yeah.
Draw Castle United. Six draws, 6 losses, 0 wins. It's mad. It needs to stop. We need to be winning Castle United because if we want to stay in this league. We need to stop picking up 3 points.
And you happy with Eddie Howe? Because obviously when the managerial position came available, I think Emery was linked. I think there was a few more Gasparini and a few more names mentioned. It ended with Eddie Howe. You happy with that decision?
I think it was a bit underwhelming at first getting Howe, because when you link with Emery, who's, I know you may have mixed feelings on him, but Europa League winner, you know what I mean, big. It would have been a big name for us, I think, coming in. I think he did a decent job at Hughes, really, not given much time, but for us to come there. But when you look at it, would Emery been good in a relegation battle? I'm not so sure. Yeah. Howe's been there and he's done it. Yes, he got relegated in his last season, but he did keep Bournemouth up for 5 years before that, fighting relegation battles every year. So his style, his reputation probably matches where we're at the minute. See how Howe gets on. Hopefully he can do bits and stay here for years. If not, keep him in the league 2 years. He's only signed a 2.5-year contract. A couple of years' time, then you look towards getting a European manager. And
in terms of what you just mentioned with Man City and Robinho and on the player side of things, when you look at Man City's first influx of money, they brought in Mark Hughes, I believe. So, you know.
Exactly. Got to start somewhere, haven't
you?
You
Mark Hughes
and signing players in and around them. Gareth Barry and man like that.
So Joe Willano, they went through a few names. I think Stephen Ireland, obviously, they didn't sign him, but he was, you know, in that team many times.
It doesn't happen overnight, mate. It doesn't happen overnight. You just all we need to do is follow Man City's model. We've got the money, got more money than them. So just follow what they did and hopefully we can take over.
And you've shown me good things with your training room, the fitness rooms being added, and you know, structurally there's development already with these new owners. And we talked off camera and I said that's a very big positive, because you don't want an owner just to come in and think spending money on players is the be all and end all. The players are for now. The structure and whatnot is for the future. And I think Newcastle, in terms of stadium, fan base, you've got it all, but you just didn't have someone who cares in charge. And I just want to ask for some, well, not advice, but do you think the fan base at Newcastle had a part to play in Ashley eventually leaving, or do you think he done that of his own accord?
I think we tried our best. We had many protests. We went down to the Sports Direct headquarters here in London. Hundreds of Newcastle fans travelled down to try and voice their opinion, show the frustration at him. We had many Ashley out protests with Arsenal. A couple of years ago, we had the boycott at St James Park, first game of the season. So we tried our hardest, but I think Ashley just finally
dig his heels in.
I finally thought, you know what, probably COVID and stuff didn't help him, and he just thought, I've got a big offer here. I've got a big offer. I might not get this. I'm dicing with it every year with relegation. Smart move in the end to take the money, really, and he's made a profit buying Newcastle. He's got his brand out there. The amount of money he must have made worldwide with Sports Direct being advertised in the Premier League. So he's got his bit out of it. So
I asked that because obviously at Arsenal we've been banging our heads for a good few years with our owner, and I just wanted to know whether you feel like the fans had a part to play, because outside looking in, I'd agree with you. It looked like he dug his heels in, and when he was ready, he left. And I feel the same with Kroenke. I feel like we can bang on drums as much as we want to. I think he's going to end up making that decision for himself, not off the fact of how we feel. I think don't give up, keep fighting, keep protesting, keep raising your concerns, and that for your club, because it's your club, do you know what I mean? But this is where we're at in modern day football, isn't it? This is where we're at. But
keep fighting it, keep protesting, but it will come down to him, really, won't it?
Yeah.
Bit like Kroenke, a bit like Ashley. They know they're the villain. They don't really care. They don't know
what. They thrive off it.
They probably don't know what's going on. I mean, Ashley never used to know when we had a game, man. He wasn't that bothered.
Kroenke don't know what colour we play in. So snap. We could go back and forth all day about these two owners, but it is what it is. Let's talk about Arteta for a second. Let me get your thoughts on Arteta. Obviously, a few times over the past 18 months or so, his job has been on the line, and a few moments, fans have been on his back. It seems like there's been a little turnaround. Obviously, you look at the last result against Liverpool, and that kind of, put an obstacle in front of that turnaround. But what's your thoughts on Mikel?
I'm very mixed on Mikel, because unreal what he did there. What was it, 2 months unbeaten? That was a big turnaround. So where you are now, or where you were before the Liverpool game, I'm not sure now, 5th in the league, turning things around a bit, getting fans maybe a bit more behind him. Yeah. From that start of the season where you hadn't won the first 3 games, was it?
Hadn't scored.
Hadn't scored. So no wonder you've got less goals than us.
Yeah, that's it.
From a turnaround, a shaky start, go 2 months unbeaten, whatever it was, that's impressive. But it's the big games, in it. It's where he's on the table now is decent. If you can keep at it, it's games like us you just want to be winning. Liverpool, maybe the manner of the defeat wasn't great, but if you beat us, then things will be looking better again. I mean, it's hard to judge Arteta, really. He's got an FA Cup, but he's a novice. I was surprised that he's signed Arteta because he didn't have any managerial experience.
Most of us was, yeah.
I don't think Arteta's first job should have been Arsenal.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would take Arteta at Newcastle. That might say a lot.
It does.
Do you know what I mean? So for Arsenal, one of the biggest clubs in the world, he should have a bigger, better name than Arteta, to be perfectly honest with you. But I hope he does well. Young manager and that. Yeah.
Well, so do we as Arsenal fans. Obviously, he does well, we do well. Let's talk about a key battle this weekend. Who would you pick out from the Arsenal side as one to fear for Newcastle?
Smith-Rowe.
Smith-Rowe.
He's a threat, isn't he? He's a dangerous talent. I think he's
quality.
Well. Yeah, he's on fire. He scored against us last time out, I think.
Oh yeah, he did.
Which was probably one of his first goals. He was just starting to come through then. But I see Smith-Rowe. Smith-Rowe is a real danger man. Delighted he's English. What a talent! And you've got a couple of decent players knocking about there. There was still, and Ramsdale and goal. What a revelation he's been, man. That's what worries me, because we're talking about the goals that we score. But when you look at Ramsdale, I mean, that Liverpool game could have been far gone, couldn't it, without him?
Could have been double the scoreline.
Leicester, before that as well, he's won comfortably, but he still made some great saves.
Yeah, key points.
So, for me, it's going to be hard for us to break past Ramsdale and then to contain the likes of Smith-Rowe when our defence is so bad.
Yeah. On the flip side, then who should we worry about? Obviously, there's St. Maximin there for our defenders to worry about, an unpredictable player. And I think a lot of clubs look at and say, we could do with him. Because he's so unpredictable, he has moments where he's brilliant, but he also has other moments where you just think, oh, what are you doing, mate?
Yeah, that decision making, but he's improved on that. His goal record and his assists is already better this season than it was for the entire last season.
Yeah.
So he's getting there. He's still young. He's playing in a terrible side, to be honest. So under a terrible manager. So we've seen better things already. St. Maximin's he's always a danger. You never know what you're going to get. To be fair with him, he could take a few players on. He could find that pass. He could shoot from long range. He's our spark. He's our shining light. We love him. He's a cult hero. The other day, I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter, he just gave a fan after the game his $3,000 tag hero watch.
Oh, is it?
He just dished it out for no reason.
I know he's active on Twitter. I do know.
He loves it, mate. He walks around the Newcastle shopping centre called the Metro Centre with his Newcastle top on underneath his hoodie and that.
Yeah.
He loves it, man. That's hard this day and age to find a player like that, like a cult hero.
It connects the fans to the players and the club a lot more.
So he's a threat. Wilson, if he's fit, give him a chance, he'll score. Callum Wilson.
Yeah.
Joe Willock, mate. Joe Willock's coming home.
Yeah, he's
gonna have a point to prove,
innit? Shoulder, yeah.
He's been poor for us this season as well. After being brilliant last year on loan, he was never going to reach that kind of figure again and reaching them stats. He was setting midfield goal scoring records, wasn't he? So Willock, for me, he's got a point to prove. He's been playing with injury this season, so hopefully he can come back this weekend, get himself on the score sheet.
Hopefully not, people. Let's end with a prediction, Matty. What are you going for?
I'm going to go for a 2-2, mate.
2-2, yeah?
Optimistic 2-2. If I'm being real, we're probably going to get beat 3-1.
Well, there you have it. My prediction was 3-1 and Matty took the words out of my mouth. I'm going for 3-1.
3-1.
We need to bounce back after that Liverpool game, and we need to bounce back in comfortable fashion because we've got Man United away and then Everton away next. And that will be 2 massive tests. Not for top 4 credentials per se, but to see where we're at.
Definitely.
With Mikel Arteta.
Judge Arteta then. The same with us. We've got Norwich and Burnley next week, so it's a big week for us.
Yeah. On the other side of the table. People, if you want to hear more from Matty, make sure you subscribe. Below in the description box is his channel, the Magpie channel, so look out for that. More content coming this week for the game and throughout the season. So make sure you support Matty. Thanks for coming down.
No, bro, anytime.
Appreciate that. 3-1 for me, 2-2 for Matty. Let us know in the comment section below your predictions, lineups and all of that. Love for the love, people. We're out.